The second to the last episode of House of the Dragon was a heart-stopping spectacle. We saw Rhaenys breaking free from a hidden spot beneath a flag, riding a dragon. But who could have guessed that the showstopper, the truly thrilling moment, would come in the final episode with its own dragon scene? As is the way in the Game of Thrones world, not all characters get to see another day, and this will have a huge effect. We know that you are pretty excited to see what'll happen in Season 2. That's why if you finish this video, you will know the HBO's House of the Dragon Season 2 plot, release date, spoilers, how many episodes does it have, and many, many more. So let's start with House of the Dragon Season 2 confirmed. Despite the writer strike happening right now, the House of the Dragon is flapping its mighty wings for round 2. Yeah, that's right. A second season is officially on the cards. HBO gave the green light for Season 2 not long after the curtain lifted on the first episode of Season 1, just 5 days after the first episode, to be exact. And that premiere stirred up a storm, smashing viewership records left and right for the network. Despite the mixed feelings about the final season of Game of Thrones, House of the Dragon has made a roaring debut, gathering up to a cool 20 million viewers from its Sunday premiere to the next Friday. It bagged the title of the most-watched new original series in HBO's history. Plus, it earned a spot on our Best of TV list for 2022. Francesca Orsi, HBO's Executive Vice President of Programming, was all praises for the House of the Dragon team. She stated that, "We are beyond proud of what the entire House of the Dragon team has accomplished with Season 1. What will happen in House of the Dragon Season 2? There is a storm of war coming our way." This show has been setting the stage for a big, loud clash. The death of Lucerys is a real game changer. Rhaenyra is probably boiling mad and looking to get even for the loss of her son. And let's be real, she won't believe that his death was an accident, especially knowing Aemon's history. So, this is definitely going to stir things up between Alicent and Rhaenyra. Just when things were starting to look better between them, this might just rip their relationship to shreds. Graham McTavish, who brings Sir Harold Westerling to life, also hinted at what's coming. He said it looks like the series is heading straight into a civil war. And you know what civil war looks like, right? If no one else to pick a fight with, why not fight amongst ourselves? That's the vibe here. Long-lasting peace is turning into self-destruction. And that's what makes this show so thrilling. We can expect more rifts, more taking sides, and more drama. And this is not just about the war, because we will probably see more from the houses we all love from Game of Thrones. Houses Tully, Arryn, Stark, Baratheon, and Lannister. They'll all have picked their sides. But what happens next? Well, plots are being hatched and alliances could change just like that. Sure, we could try to sneak a peek into the future with George R.R. Martin's Fire and Blood or World of Ice and Fire Companion Volume. But it's way more fun to guess and speculate, right? Speaking of guessing, Sarah Hess, the series writer and producer, stoked our curiosity. She hinted that Season 2 could bring one of the gnarliest stories from the books to life. And yes, that's the blood and cheese plot that follows Luke's death. "We're working on the Season 2 finale," she told to Variety. "And trust me, you won't be let down." But of course, the series isn't the book page by page. It's taking its own path, which means we could be in for a few surprises in Season 2. What's certain is that House of the Dragon Season 2 will pick up right where Season 1 left us hanging, smack dab in the middle of the Dance of the Dragons. The fight for the Iron Throne is on, with Aegon and Rhaenyra claiming their places as king and queen. And Season 2 might also bring us the Dragon Seeds story, where those who aren't Targaryens get to ride dragons. The story of Season 2 is pretty interesting and thrilling, right? But who will be in the cast? Emma Darcy is back as Rhaenyra Targaryen, who's got her eyes on the Iron Throne. But Queen Alicent, played by Olivia Cooke, isn't going to make it easy for her. Yeah, the tussle between the Greens and the Blacks is going to heat up. On Rhaenyra's team, we'll see Matt Smith as Prince Daemon Targaryen and Eve Best as Princess Rhaenys Targaryen. They're coming back to boost Rhaenyra's power. Supporting Team Aegon and Alicent, we have Rhys Ifans and Otto Hightower, and Fabian Frankel as Ser Criston Cole. The list goes on. We've got Steve Toussaint as Corlys Velaryon, Ewan Mitchell as Aemon Targaryen, and Tom Glyn Carney as Aegon Targaryen. Also returning are Sonoya Mizuno, Harry Collette, Bethany Antonia, Phoebe Campbell, Fia Saban, Jefferson Hall, and Matthew Needham. All these folks will be playing their part in the royal drama and the sneakier part of the court. We are also expecting Graham McTavish to be back as Sir Harold Westerling. Some characters like Laenor Velaryon might pop up unexpectedly. He faked his death and took off, so who knows if he'll show up in season 2. Sadly, we won't be seeing Millie Alcock and Emily Carey as young Rhaenyra and Alicent because they got phased out after the season 1 time jump. Even though fans were hoping they'd show up in flashbacks, the showrunner Ryan Condal said it's not happening. What about the dragons? House of the Dragon Season 1 has 10 dragons, and we're getting more in Season 2. Well, 5 more dragons are about to make an appearance, to be exact, according to the man in charge of the show, Mr. Condal. How many episodes will we see in Season 2? Season 2 will be a bit different. Instead of the usual 10 episodes, we are only getting 8 episodes this time. Why? Well, Condal and George R.R. Martin, the big bosses behind the scenes, have been thinking long-term. According to Deadline, they're planning the story across 3 to 4 seasons and hoping for an early green light for Season 3. In a blog post from October, Martin said, "I am thrilled that we still have 10 hours every season to tell our tale. And he hopes that this will continue. He even thinks it would take 4 seasons of 10 episodes each to do justice to the Dance of the Dragons from start to finish." But we all know that in the Dance of the Dragons, the rhythm can change at any moment. When will Season 2 of House of the Dragon premiere? We know that you are eagerly waiting for Season 2, but sadly, we don't have the exact release date yet. Given how grand and detailed Season 1 was, it took them over a year just to make it. And according to HBO CEO Casey Bloys, a good script is their top priority, and his focus is not churning out 1 or 2 seasons a year, but rather wants to create something that everyone is excited about. And those fire-breathing dragons aren't exactly easy to grow. As Bloys pointed out, late 2024 is a good guess for Season 2's release. But before you start marking your calendars, Bloys didn't give any specifics though, because they're still piecing together the plan, and with such a big project, things can change at any moment. Is Season 2 filming now? Yes! HBO announced this on April 11th through a tweet from the House of the Dragons official, "It's time to return to King's Landing." Not only that, but they have also shared a sneak peek behind the scenes with a photo of the Iron Throne itself. Are there any spoilers for House of Dragons Season 2? Remember how Game of Thrones left us hanging by a thread with those cliffhangers? House of the Dragon is no different. We ended on a somber note last season with poor Luke meeting his fiery end. But don't lose heart. A silver linings in sight with Rhaenyra sending her eldest son, Jacaerys, on an important mission right at the finale's end. Fans are buzzing with theories that we're going to take a chilly trip up north to Winterfell, the historic Stark household, and the future home of our very own Jon Snow. Now, those who have read George's epic Fire and Blood will know about a certain Cregan Stark. He's quite a big deal down the line, but our creators are zipping their mouths about whether we'll get to meet him next season. When it comes to what's in store for us in Season 2, Ryan will only describe it as complex. But we know for sure that we'll keep exploring the tangled web of Rhaenyra and Alicent's families. He shared with Entertainment Weekly that he's intrigued by seeing what happens now that we've flipped the chessboard over and spilled the pieces on the ground.